morning, everybody. Welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV here in Frederick, Colorado. My name's Taylor, and today we're going to be going over a 2022 Winnebago ERA, and this is the 70A. So if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, we're going to go ahead and take a walk around the outside first, end off on the inside, and as always, you guys can reach me at my number below. But let's go ahead and get on into it. All right, sliding over here and starting with the front, we have our rims and tires. These are the aluminum wheels, and they are currently on the Van Contract AS tires. As we slide up here, we have our nice truck styled mirrors with a blinker inside of that mirror as well. And as we work our way up even more, at the very top there, we have our Carefree awning that has the LED light strip inside of it. We have our beautiful windows throughout the whole side of the coach here. As you can see, these two do open, they prop open right here, and then we have the two in the bedroom that open as well. One cool feature I just wanted to point out is that the door is actually electric, so we'll just go ahead with your key fob. You can go ahead and just hold this button down and it will automatically open that door for you. With that being said, you do have two other ways that you can open it as well. You do have a button right here, so you can open or close it. And then you do have another one on the inside, right in between that passenger's and driver's seat. I know I said we're starting with the exterior, but I just wanted to go ahead, since I already opened the door, and just show you, you have two access points for this underneath the galley here, so you can access some things from the outside, which is kind of cool. Right over here too, we just have our freshwater inlet. And then since we're talking about our fresh water, we have 25 gallons of fresh water capacity here. And then you do have a nice beautiful screen door here. It's a little bit more heavy duty than the rest or any other vans that you're kind of familiar with. So it's kind of basically just like a screen door you would have at home. All right, we'll just keep working our way back here. For our rims and tires on the back, you do have a nice little dually. And then we do have some charging and an extra solar port here too if you wanted to go ahead and plug in some solar. And that one stays open by itself. There we go. And then just a nice little pre-wire if you wanted to go ahead and plug in your TV out here. A docking light, and then as you can see, we have some speakers here. That stereo is on the inside, so you can go ahead and play it inside or just outside or both at the same time. And now finally to the back here. As you can see, you have a nice little custom roof rack. We have our ladder here. This is just where you mount it while you're driving down the road. You will have to detach that, and then you can go ahead and clip it on that custom roof rack wherever it is accessible. And then we do have our backup camera at the very top here, so it gives you the best visibility, so you're backing this up nice and safely. And then as far as for the AC, you have the Coleman Mac. It's the 10NDQ AC. It has the interior shroud with directional vents as well. Now I'll just go ahead and open up the doors. Nice 360 swing here. Perfect. Alrighty, so at the first glimpse of the rear here, we'll go ahead and start from the top. You do have a nice little shade here. Let me set this down and put my keys back in the pocket so I can really show you this. So as you can see, it's dual. So if you wanted to leave these doors open, but you still wanted to have that nice, fresh, cool breeze, you will of course have to move the pillow, and you can go ahead and zip it up all the way to here to keep all the bugs out, or you can go ahead and totally black it out when the doors are closed, whichever you'd like, but I love that versatility. Another cool feature that this one has, again, the 70A floor plan, you're gonna have a nice little slide out tray here. This is where our table is right now. So it's a pretty decent size, and you can go ahead and just use the leg to kind of put it in there. And then we just have a nice little cover here. And then this is our second TV. There is one already mounted in the bedroom. The previous customer just had the one that this feature also has it where you have that second TV inside of the galley where you can go ahead and prop it out and face it outside, so you can also see it from outside, which is kind of cool. But the previous customer just took it out, but they did keep the TV on hand. We do have our 30 amp shore power cord back there. I kind of just shoved it in a nice little corner, but as you can see too, you have a nice little shelf there too for any longer items, maybe like an extra longer chairs or other awnings or any other types of things that you would like to bring. I love how they're using every nook and cranny where you can kind of shove in all of your storage wherever it can fit. All right, now I'll just close up the door again. Oops. And then we'll move on to our hitch here. So as you can see, we have a nice little tow bar with our brake light connector here. We do have a 5,000 pound towing capacity. And then we do have a nice little propane outlet here. So that is closest to that passenger side. So you can go ahead and plug a barbecue back here if you'd like. And then we'll move on over to the driver's side. In our first little compartment here, we have a nice exterior shower. I kind of like how it's mounted on the side here, and it's kind of nice and closed, so it doesn't kind of disrupt everything else that's going on in the rear there on the inside. And then we have our 30 amp shore power cord here. Our spigot right here is for the generator. We do have it's the, I forgot what the wattage was on that generator. It's the, my bad. So sorry, I thought I wrote it down, but I know it's the Cummins Onan, it's the micro quiet, but I forget what the wattage is. I want to say it was the 2500, but all right, right over here we have our wet bay. So as you can see, you can go ahead and turn on your water pump here, and then we have everything nice and labeled and open. We have our dump for our gray waste, and then our black waste right over there for the pools. And then for our gray capacity, we have 26 gallons, and then for our black, it's going to be 8 gallons. Both of these compartments are lockable, so you just have to latch it, and then you can lock it on the other side. And then right over here is just where our propane fill is. And this is what the generator is run off of as well. It is a propane gen. Oops, turned it the wrong way. Alrighty. And now in our first look into the driver and passenger seats, we have the ultra leather seats. I love this color too. It's kind of just like a dark brown. So instead of black, how it gets really, really hot, or even the beige, just really, really light. Kind of like how it's a little bit in between. I haven't seen this color in a while. And then we do have our diesel fill here, which is 24 gallons. And then just all the luxuries of Mercedes. As far as the steering wheel, we have all of our lights over here, which I know is kind of hard to show when I do show all the features up here. And then we have 3 little settings here, so we can go ahead and save our chair configurations. And then we do have the heated seats as well. Alrighty, go ahead and pop that hood. All right, perfect. Now that we have it nice and latched, this is on the Mercedes Sprinter chassis. It's the 3-liter, 6-cylinder, 188 horsepower turbo diesel engine with the 7G Tronic auto transmission, 220 amp alternator. Some other features that this chassis does have is the active brake assist and crosswind assist, collision avoidance assistant package, and then the blind spot monitoring. We do have our DEF and a nice little friendly spider with us today. We have our coolant, oil, and then we have our windshield wiper fluid right over here, and then our prongs here too if we ever needed to jump the chassis. Since we are talking about chassis, the mileage is just over 12,000 miles, so for being a 2022, it's in very good condition. There isn't any serious exterior damage or even interior damage, and not much is actually missing that it came with new. So let's go ahead and take our first few steps inside. To my right, as soon as we enter, we have our nice fire extinguisher here. This is where the table would go that I showed you earlier, so you just go ahead and put in that post. And then we have our nice bench seating here. That cushion that was on top of the bed, this does fold down, and then you can go ahead and add that extender so you can sleep up to 3 people here if you'd like. I know it isn't the longest, but if you guys did need some measurements, I can go ahead and grab the measurement when it is fully adjusted into a bed, and I'd be happy to do that. But we're gonna go ahead and just start in the rear here. I'll go ahead and just turn on all of our lights really quick. So we have our nice little light controller here. and then we'll start in the back. Alrighty. So I believe this is one of the more popular floor plans just because you have the 2 twin beds set up here. It's the most spacious and the biggest bed. And then you'll just go ahead and put this in the middle where my legs are. I did go ahead and print this out just so I can give you guys the bed measurements. So the twin bed individually, it's a 29 by 75, but when you put the flex bed system in the middle, it's going to be a 68 by 75. So pretty spacious back here. And again, with going ahead and being able to black out these shades, in addition to having both of the screens down, I kept one side open just so you can kind of see that those windows do open and kind of how they do open. So you just go ahead and unwind these and they will crank open to kind of give you some nice good ventilation. There we go. And then you can always have the option of blacking it out. And it does have a nice little thing here so you can kind of keep it from popping back up. The speakers are also back here. So if you had anyone you just wanted to relax and go ahead and enjoy some music. And then you do have your bed lights back here as well. Nice little bungee cord and reading lights for either side and charging for either side as well. And then I'll go ahead and just open up these. Some customers have a hard time opening it just because this metal bracket lip it feels like you need to put your finger here. So you just barely have an inch here to kind of open those up. But you do have nice little magnets in addition to those clips, so you don't have to worry about all your stuff falling out while you're going down the road. And then one other thing I did want to mention is that they're all through and through storage from this side, this section, and this section. All nice and carpeted as well. And this one, there we go. Our Coleman Mac is directly above us, but again, it's nice and vented. Our LED light strip throughout. And then of course we have this nice little TV here. It's just the Insignia 32-inch. The lower storage might be a little harder to show you guys, but you do have 2 drawers on either side for some storage. And this one is actually, I'm sorry, just 1 drawer, and then this is kind of a control panel here. And then you just put it back in. Which I may just, there we go, perfect. And then we just have our nice little vents here for our heater. And then we can go ahead and move into, it's another awkward spot where I'm totally blocking you, I'm sorry. Okay. There we go. Just a nice little storage space there. But you have a total of 2 deep cycle group 3 batteries, and then yeah, it is a 2500 watt Cummins generator. And then while you're on that side still, I'll just go ahead and show you the bathroom. Perfect, nice little sink in there, a cover for your toilet paper, and then you have the bamboo rack at the bottom. But that cover that I showed you is kind of dual. That's like a shower curtain that I showed you in the back. That was nice and gray. Perfect. And then we'll go ahead and just start down here with all the cabinets inside of the galley kitchen area. Then we do have 2 charging outlets in here as well. Our beautiful countertop with the cover for our sink. So it's kind of nice having a sink in the kitchen as well as a sink in the bathroom for you. And you just prop it up. Nice and collapsible. So when you don't need it, you just have the additional counter space. Same thing for your propane cooktop. 2 burner with the splash guard, and then you have more storage up above here. And then we'll just flip around and I'll show you kind of where our control panel is. I know I showed you the lighting bar already, but you have that nice touchscreen up there, which will be where you start your generator, set your temperature, and then you also have your Truma here for your heat and hot water. And then you have your solar charger inverter controller, which is 1000 watts. And then again, of course, that nice little light bar there. All right. Continuing on with our kitchen. And then we'll flip on to the other side. You just have plenty more storage. So this is that storage area that is also accessible from the outside, which is kind of cool. and nifty. And then you have some more lighting features that you can turn on. We don't really need the porch light on and the awning light on, but you also have a master light, so you can turn on all the lights or turn them all off. All right. All right. Now over here to our fridge. Make sure we unlatch them. You have a latch for either, for your fridge and freezer. Refrigerator is going to be on the top. And then we have the freezer down here at the bottom. And then we have our microwave up here. It's the high point. I kind of like how everything's configured here, especially with the refrigerator. Sometimes it's always on the top, so you are mainly wasting your space and have to bend over. So I like how the freezer is located at the bottom. And then I'll just end off with the storage up above. That's where the radio system is. So you can do all your configurations there, and it is Bluetooth, HDMI, and app ready. And then we have our fan up here as well. And then you have another storage capacity there. That's where your Winnebago manuals are as well. Alrighty. Now we'll go ahead and jump over here. Turn on the chassis really quick. Perfect. So right now it's just letting us know that our door is open. Just wanted to show you. So today we have 12,396 miles. So just over that 12,000 mile mark. Everything on this side of the steering wheel is going to, you can go ahead and flick through all of your settings on the dash here. And then everything on this side will do our touchscreen. Whoops, now we're going through the radios. Stations here, sorry. So we got, let's start from the front. We have our phone, navigation, radio, media, more information, all of the Mercedes apps, and then we can go ahead and flick through our settings. One cool thing about the settings is you can just go ahead and turn on and off those safety features and adjust them to your liking. So you can just go ahead and flick through all those before you start your first venture and set it up to your liking so you can have the best experience possible going down the road. And as we work our way down here, we have the heating, cooling, our hazard lights. This is that third way where you can go ahead and open and close your door. Plenty of cup holders. You have a nice little hole down here, which is for your key fob. So you can go ahead and plug it in right here, and it will also charge that key fob for you. And then you have your parking brake right here. And we'll just go ahead and end off with all of the storage. You do have one more right there, additional cup holders, and then you do have some charging options up here as well. But if you guys had any comments, questions, or concerns, again, this is a 2022 Winnebago Era 70A. My name's Taylor. Feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thanks again for tuning in, and have a great day.